Hello and welcome to Sit Down with the Chief. We're here with editor Richard Steier, who's going to talk to us about a kerfuffle in a firehouse in Flatlands, Brooklyn, where charges that a Muslim firefighter was harassed resulted in transfer of 8 firefighters, lieutenants, and captains. Richard?
Well, basically, this is a situation that's got to be particularly embarrassing to the fire department because of the fact that less than a year ago, the Fire Commissioner Daniel Nigro had put out a directive expressly banning harassment or hazing of firefighters. And one of the specific prohibitions that he put in there was tampering with an employee's food or drink. In this particular case, the firefighter Rahim Hassan charges that there were people who were trying to get him, as a devout Muslim, to violate the precept against eating pork by inserting it into his food or rolling it in bacon grease, which, it's Animal House type of stuff, and you wonder why grown-ups would think that something like this would be funny. Essentially, there aren't details as to who did what, but they have moved out 4 lieutenants, 2 captains, 2 firefighters, and it would not be a shock if there were ultimately firings as well as demotions, for the simple reason that the fire department at this point, beyond the in-house embarrassment of this, is under the scrutiny of a federal judge because of the lawsuit that resulted in him finding that there had been bias in the hiring exams that worked against employees of color a few years ago. And perhaps fortunately for the department, a hearing that was supposed to be held on January the 11th wound up being postponed so that they didn't have to go before Judge Nicholas Garofis just after this story first came to light. But it's something where last year there had been a hearing in which Garofis was talking about another situation involving a probationary firefighter who was black, who was complaining of harassment, and it had one common thread with this one, that in his case he was claiming that he was pinned down on a workbench and several firefighters dangled their testicles in front of his face. In this particular case, Hassan is claiming that there were photos taken of him while he was sleeping in the firehouse quarters of firefighters exposing themselves and basically shaking their equipment close by his face, and then posting it to an in-house site. In the case last year, when Garofis was asked about it, what he told them was that it seems to me that somebody is supposed to be policing this stuff, and I don't have any reason to believe that you're doing what has to be done. At what point do you start telling people you're out of here for pulling stuff like that? Which is an ominous sort of sign for the people who are involved here if they are found to be guilty once the fire department gets done with an in-house investigation.
Okay, thank you, Richard Steier, and thank you for watching Sit Down with the Chief.